NFE is an unofficial metagame in Pokemon Showdown that stands for Not Fully Evolved. Games are played in the 6v6 singles format with a simple premise. The Pokemon in your team must still be capable of evolution, which meant that as of Generation 9, Pokemon like Girafarig and Dunsparce were eligible. If you've never heard of NFE, the concept may still sound familiar to you, since the metagame Little Cup shares a similar premise, except only Pokemon legally obtainable at level 5 in the main games may participate. Hence second stage evolutions like Thwackey or Seadra are banned from Little Cup. In this video, we'll be uncovering the best and the worst Pokemon in NFE, as well as what makes a Pokemon good there. But before we begin, please remember to like and subscribe. It's just a few buttons for you, but it helps me out a lot, and lets me know what kind of content you guys are interested in seeing more of. So what makes a Pokemon good in NFE? To figure that out, we need to understand the best item in the metagame, the Eviolite. About 90% of the metagame revolves around the item itself, simply because of how strong it is. The Eviolite grants a defense and special defense raised by 1.5 times to the holder, on the condition that the holder is not fully evolved yet. This means every Pokemon available in NFE is also eligible to hold the Eviolite, but at the small cost of occupying your item slot. A 50% increase to your defense and special defense is pretty incredible, capable of changing many key interactions. Since so many unevolved Pokemon are relying on this item, Pokemon like Thwackey and Tinkertuff are some of the best thanks to their access to knockoff, allowing them to effectively remove Eviolites and make the opposing Pokemon more susceptible to incoming attacks. Similarly, moves like Trick, Switcheroo and Covet, as well as the ability Pickpocket and Magician are extremely valuable. Say you have a Pokemon with the Prankster ability like Morgrem or Shudo, and you can trick an Iron Ball or Black Sludge onto your opponent's Pokemon before they can even attack. A good Pokemon will have to provide utility to the team while not being too reliant on the Eviolite. One example of this is Piloswine, the pre-evolution of Mamoswine. Thanks to its natural bulk, Piloswine is capable of getting Stealth Rocks up consistently and outputting solid damage with its base 100 attack stat, and its excellent Ice and Ground stab combo. Even without the Eviolite, Piloswine is amazingly tanky and hard to get rid of. Not to mention, it can also block setup by roaring out threats. Dunsparce is one of NFE's best utility Pokemon, simply because of how versatile it is. With the introduction of the Dunsparce in Generation 9, Dunsparce was relegated from ZU to the NFE tier. But if anything, that seemed to make Dunsparce a more prominent threat for the first time in its existence. It's not over-reliant on the Eviolite thanks to its decent defenses and base 100 HP, and Dunsparce has one of the most diverse move pools in all of the game. You can run a physical setup Sweeper set with Coil, Serengrace boosted Headbutt, or Body Slam to paraflinch your opponent into forfeiting, as well as Glare for guaranteed paralysis, or Roost to remain healthy. Alternatively, you could run Dunsparce as a special sweeper, with Calm Mind and coverage options like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt and Earth Power. Even better still, Dunsparce could take on more of a utility role, leveraging its great defenses to get up Stealth Rocks, steal Eviolites with Teeth, spread paralysis with Glare, and poison opposing Pokemon with Toxic and whatnot. Some of Little Cup's most notable threats are also present in NFE. Take for example Glimmet. This thing has an obscenely high special attack stat of 105, as well as the ability Toxic Debris, getting up a layer of toxic spikes on the opposing side of the field whenever it's hit with a physical move. Since NFE games are quicker paced, not having to waste a turn to get your hazards up while also threatening colossal damage with Sludge Wave and Power Gem makes Focus Sash Glimmet a sleeper pick in NFE. Of course, the Queen of Little Cup Mienfoo manages to prove her worth in the metagame right above. Mienfoo's base defenses, although mediocre at first glance, are offset by her outstanding move pool and ability Regenerator, restoring a third of its health upon switching out. Stab close combat from an adamant nature Mienfoo hits like a truck, staring down common Pokemon like Arctibax and Vigoroth. Knockoff is splendid as always, granting Mienfoo coverage against pesky ghost types like Mischievous and Dusclops, as well as the omnipresent nasty plot Girafarig. Tom blocks set up from opposing utility Pokemon, and U-turn provides fast pivots out. One of the best Pokemon in the format arguably does the exact same job, but even better. Thwackey is a baby Rillaboom, and if you're familiar with Rillaboom's antics in VGC, Thwackey's purpose should come as no surprise to you. Thwackey's ability Grassy Surge sets up grassy terrain upon switching in, which provides it with residual healing and reduced damage from ground type moves. The Grookey line's signature moves Grassy Glide is also seen on most Thwackey sets. Grassy Glide gains priority on grassy terrain, letting Thwackey pick up easy kills on weakened enemies. And if you're afraid of knockoff, and also happen to have a Thwackey on your team, you could possibly let your Pokemon hold a Grassy Seed item, raising their defense by 1 stage in grassy terrain. Since it's single use, you won't have to be afraid of taking increased damage from knockoff, with the downsides being you don't get a special defense boost, and these boosts disappear upon switching out. But which unevolved Pokemon have proven themselves too strong for the NFE metagame and how their bans justified? Some obvious bans include Bishop and Duraludon, both of which were inherently top-notch Pokemon prior to their new evolutions in Generation 9, the former of which even resided in OU for the majority of its existence. By just looking at their stats, you can imagine why they were too advanced for the KD pool that was NFE. Bishop is one of the game's most reliable revenge killers and Swords Dance wall breakers, while Duraludon is a pretty okay mixed attacker with moves like Flash Cannon, Draco Meteor and Body Press. But if that was the case, why was Vulpix banned? Not a lowland Vulpix, mind you, just base Cantonian Vulpix. What's the little fox done to warrant its banishment? To tell you the truth, it was not Vulpix's fault at all. Grass-type Pokemon like Gloom and Tangela have had a mild presence in the NFE metagame as sleep and paralysis spreaders, only limited by their poor speed. But here's where Vulpix comes into play. Gloom, Tangela and many other support grass types have the ability Chlorophyll, doubling their speed stat in the sun and potentially making them the fastest things on the field due to NFE's low speed tiers, meaning they could paralyze or put your entire team to sleep without a care in the world. Since common Sunsetters like Torkoal and Ninetales were ineligible for the format, all eyes fell on Vulpix, the only Pokemon capable of enabling this unbridled havoc with its ability Drought, that sets up the sun upon switching in and activating Chlorophyll. Players could use this strategy to cheese through games and secure easy wins against helpless opponents, resulting in the unfortunate ban of Cantonian Vulpix. Eventually, the Sleep Clause was implemented, banning sleep moves entirely. Sadly, Vulpix's ban was never revoked as NFE slowly faded into obscurity. The worst Pokemon in all of NFE would probably have to be Spewpa. This thing has abysmal stats all around and the atrocious pure bug typing. What truly holds Spewpa back is its shallow move pool of only 12 moves in total. The move with the highest base power that it learns, excluding Terra Blast or Hidden Power, is Bug Bite at a whopping base 60. Spewpa has no niche or purpose, it doesn't even get Sticky Web or let alone Toxic. This thing gets Poison Powder, an inaccurate version of Toxic that inflicts regular poisoning, not the bad poisoning that we are all used to. Well, at least it gets Dunsparce and String Shot if that matters. Shout out to Spewpa. And that's the end of the video, so be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed because it really helps me out a lot. Bye.